Hawaii may look like a tiny speck in the Pacific Ocean, but its geography is anything but ordinary. When most people think of this island, they imagine beaches, palm trees, and sunshine, but the geography of these islands is far more extreme and fascinating than the postcard view suggests. Hawaii is one of the most isolated island chains in the world, sitting in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, thousands of miles from any continent. Yet despite its small size on a map, the state is home to some of the most dramatic landscapes on Earth. It was built entirely by volcanoes, and its mountains rise straight out of the ocean floor, so high in fact that when measured from their underwater base, they surpass even Mount Everest. The islands are a place of staggering contrasts. Snow-capped peaks stand above tropical rainforests, while arid lava deserts exist just a short drive from lush valleys carved by endless waterfalls. Black, green, and even red sand beaches line the coasts, a reminder of their volcanic birth. And because the islands stretch across hundreds of miles, each one has its own climate zones, ecosystems, and geological quirks. In this video, we'll dive into the absolutely insane geography of Hawaii to uncover why these islands are not just a tropical paradise, but a living, breathing testament to the raw power of our planet. Comment 1 if you'd love to visit Hawaii for its volcanoes and mountains, or 2 if the beaches and coastlines are what amaze you most. Location and geological formation. Hawaii is unlike almost any other place on Earth, not just in beauty but in how it was formed. Geographically, the Hawaiian Islands lie in the very center of the Pacific Ocean, more than 2,400 miles from the nearest continental landmass. This extreme isolation makes Hawaii the most remote island chain in the world. Its location has shaped everything, from the unique plants and animals that evolved here to the way its landforms developed over millions of years. Unlike most island groups, Hawaii did not form at the collision or edges of tectonic plates. Instead, it rose from what geologists call a hotspot, a plume of superheated rock that rises from the Earth's mantle, punching through the crust and erupting as volcanoes. Over vast spans of time, these eruptions built enormous mountains of lava, layer upon layer, until they broke the surface of the Pacific and formed islands. The Pacific Plate is constantly moving northwestward at a slow but steady pace. Because the hotspot remains fixed in place, it has created a trail of volcanoes across the ocean floor. This is why the Hawaiian chain stretches more than 1,500 miles in a neat line. The older islands lie in the northwest, small and eroded after millions of years, while the youngest lie in the southeast, still raw and growing from active eruptions. The Big Island of Hawaii is the newest addition, home to Mauna Loa and Kilauea, two of the world's most active volcanoes, which continue to pour out lava and expand the island's coastline even today. Measured from their base on the ocean floor, these volcanoes are the tallest mountains on Earth. Mauna Kea, for example, rises more than 33,000 feet from seafloor to summit, making it higher than Mount Everest when considered in total height. Yet, just a short distance away, waves and wind are constantly wearing the older islands down into jagged cliffs, lush valleys, and eventually, tiny atolls that will one day sink back beneath the ocean. Active volcanic system. Hawaii is not just a land shaped by volcanoes in the past. It is one of the most volcanically active regions on the planet today. The state sits directly over the Hawaiian hotspot, which continues to fuel eruptions beneath the Big Island. Two giants dominate this system, Mauna Loa and Kilauea. Mauna Loa is the largest volcano on Earth, covering half of the Big Island and rising nearly 33,500 feet from its base on the seafloor. It last erupted in 2022, sending rivers of lava across the landscape and reminding the world of its immense power. Nearby, Kilauea is one of the most active volcanoes anywhere, producing nearly continuous eruptions for decades at a time. Between 1983 and 2018, it created new land, destroyed neighborhoods, and dramatically reshaped the island's coastline. Even today, scientists closely monitor it, since it remains capable of major activity with little warning. Further inland stands Mauna Kea, a towering dormant volcano whose summit is so high and clear that it has become home to some of the world's most advanced astronomical observatories. Hualalai, less active than Mauna Loa and Kilauea, but still a threat, with its last eruption in 1801 covering parts of the coast with lava. Beyond the Big Island, Maui's Haleakala stands as a massive shield volcano that last erupted a few centuries ago. And hidden beneath the waves southeast of Hawaii lies Kama'ihuakanaloa, formerly known as Loihi, an undersea volcano still growing. Together, these volcanoes are more than just mountains. They are living engines of creation, constantly reshaping Hawaii and offering a rare glimpse into the raw forces that build our planet. Unique ecosystems and environment. Hawaii's extreme isolation in the middle of the Pacific has made it one of the most biologically unique places on Earth. Because the islands are more than 2,000 miles from the nearest continent, nearly all of their original plants and animals had to arrive by wind, waves, or wings. Over millions of years, these species evolved in isolation, adapting to the island's unusual landscapes and climates. Birds like the colorful honey creepers, insects like the happy-faced spider, and plants like the silver sword are just a few examples of Hawaii's living treasures. The environment here is shaped by incredible contrasts. The islands contain 11 of the world's 13 climate zones, ranging from tropical rainforests to arid deserts, alpine tundra, and even snow-capped peaks. On the Big Island, you can drive from a hot lava desert to a misty rainforest and then to a summit covered in snow, all in a single day. Towering volcanic mountains catch moist trade winds, creating lush valleys and waterfalls on their windward sides, while leaving the leeward slopes dry and almost desert-like. Hawaii's reefs and surrounding waters are just as rich. Coral ecosystems support a dazzling variety of marine life, from green sea turtles to monk seals, species that are both iconic and endangered. At the same time, volcanic activity constantly reshapes the environment, building new land while waves and erosion carve cliffs and beaches into older islands. Yet these ecosystems are also fragile. Invasive species, habitat loss, and climate change threaten much of Hawaii's biodiversity, making conservation a constant challenge. Erosion and distinctive landforms. While Hawaii is constantly being built up by volcanic eruptions, it is just as dramatically shaped by erosion. Over millions of years, wind, rain, and waves have carved the islands into some of the most spectacular and recognizable landforms in the world. Because the islands sit directly in the path of moist Pacific trade winds, rainfall on the windward sides of the mountains can be extreme, creating lush valleys, towering waterfalls, and steep ridges that slice through the landscape. One of the best examples is Waimea Canyon on Kauai, often called the Grand Canyon of the Pacific. Formed by a combination of volcanic collapse and relentless erosion, it stretches for 10 miles with cliffs of red, brown, and green that reveal layers of Hawaii's geologic history. Nearby, the Na Pali coast is another masterpiece of erosion. Soaring sea cliffs rise thousands of feet straight out of the ocean, cut through with razor-sharp ridges and hidden valleys that can only be reached by boat, helicopter, or rugged hiking trails. On Oahu, erosion created the famous Diamond Head crater, an ancient volcanic cone whose weathered slopes now overlook Waikiki. Elsewhere, pounding surf has carved dramatic sea arches, blowholes, and black sand beaches from cooled lava flows. Even the older islands like Kauai and Niihau show how millions of years of weathering can transform once massive shield volcanoes into deeply eroded, jagged mountains cloaked in green. Eventually, this process will continue until entire islands sink beneath the waves, leaving only coral atolls behind. In fact, this has already happened to many of the older islands in the Hawaiian chain, now reduced to reefs and low-lying islets in the northwestern part of the archipelago. Other unique landforms. Beyond volcanoes, valleys, and cliffs, Hawaii is filled with unusual and distinctive landforms that highlight the island's geological diversity. One striking example is the variety of colored sand beaches created by volcanic processes. While most people picture white tropical sands, Hawaii is home to rare black sand beaches formed from pulverized lava. Green sand beaches like Papakolea on the Big Island, colored by the mineral olivine, and even red sand beaches on Maui, created from eroded cinder cones rich in iron. Another unique feature is Hawaii's system of lava tubes, tunnels formed when the surface of a lava flow cools and hardens, while molten lava continues to move underneath. When the eruption ends, hollow passageways remain, some stretching for miles. Many are open to visitors today, offering a glimpse into the fiery plumbing of the islands. In addition, Hawaii's coasts are dotted with blowholes and sea arches, natural sculptures carved by relentless waves pounding against hardened lava. On Oahu, the Halona blowhole sends geysers of seawater shooting into the air, while along the Big Island, collapsing lava cliffs form dramatic arches and newly created headlands. Craters also stand out as signature Hawaiian landforms. The massive Haleakala crater on Maui spans over 7 miles across and plunges more than 2,500 feet deep, resembling an otherworldly landscape of cinder cones and desert-like terrain. On Oahu, the instantly recognizable Diamond Head, a weathered tuff cone, has become a symbol of the state itself. Hawaii is a unique geographic region, where volcanic activity, erosion, and isolation have shaped a variety of landscapes. Towering volcanoes form the backbone of each island, some still active, producing lava flows that continuously reshape the land. Rainfall patterns and topography create dense rainforests in some areas and dry rocky plains in others, while coastal processes form black sand beaches and sea cliffs. Snow-capped peaks exist on the highest mountains, showing the range of climates across relatively small areas. These islands also host ecosystems found nowhere else on Earth, from native plants and upland forests to marine life along coral reefs. Each island demonstrates the processes of Earth's surface in action: volcanism, erosion, sediment deposition, and ecological succession. Hawaii is a natural laboratory for understanding how geology and climate interact to create diverse landforms and habitats. Which part of Hawaii's geography interests you the most? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to explore more of the world's unique geographic regions.